All right, we are live, folks. Welcome to my weekly Sunday live stream where I answer your questions. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. I just got back. I was playing up in Detroit this past weekend for the Detroit Tigers opening weekend, and it was a lot of fun. It was just an absolute blast off, but I'm definitely feeling it today. I'm a little tired, so just bear with me, but I'm really happy to be here and always really look forward to doing these. I really appreciate everybody's support so much. The channel has been growing and the views are just going crazy on these videos. So I really appreciate everybody's support. It really means the world to me. And it looks like we already have CZ in the house. Hey, CZ, how's it going? Great to see you here. Really appreciate your support as always. Very, very loyal supporter there, folks. And I just had a great weekend. It was really amazing. We left after the show last night, so I'm just a little jet lagged. I'm pretty tired, but again, really happy to be here. But let's see here. We also have CZ here. She says here, my kids are in San Francisco and just went to the Mariners and Giants game. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I would love to go to San Francisco. I've never actually been there. I've never visited there. I've never played there either. Um, but yeah, it's always fun going to baseball games. The Detroit Tigers game was going on. It was their opening weekend in Detroit where I was playing there, and it was just out of control, man. It was so lit. It was so turned up. I'm definitely feeling it here today. But like I said, we left last night after the show, and we just went through the night to get back home here to Nashville. And I was a little concerned because we had some really bad flooding here, and it's pretty bad through Kentucky and through Tennessee. We've been having some really bad storms here as of late. And actually going to Detroit, we were actually 2 hours late to the gig. Unfortunately, it was just one of those things. Like the traffic was so bad, man. We were at a standstill, and man, it was just crazy. I mean, it just took us forever. And but that said, we did make it, and everything worked out, and everything was cool. They were able to find a DJ to cover for a little bit, just to extend their set out a little bit longer, and we ended up making it. But man, as soon as we got there, we just went, man. We loaded up the stage and started playing immediately. So, but the place, it was so out of control. There was just so many people. I mean, just thousands upon thousands of people there. So it was wild. But anyways, we've got Godson in the house. Hey, man, what's going on? Long time no talk. I'm kidding, obviously. But Godson says here, hello, Justin. How was Detroit? Man, it was absolutely crazy, man. I know I was just talking about it for a little bit, but yeah, man, it was out of control, man. It was a lot of fun, and made a lot of new friends, and went to go check out the 65 SG, which you know about, Godson. We were talking about that for a little bit, and man, it's a amazing guitar, man. It's really cool. So we've got a deal in place, and I'm actually going to meet him up in Columbus because he wanted cash money. He didn't want to do like a PayPal or Venmo transaction or something. So my bank's just not up in Detroit there, so I wasn't able to take out the cash to buy it right there and then, at the in Detroit there. But we've got something planned out, so definitely going to go with it. It's a really cool guitar. It's a 65 with all 64 spec, nickel parts, wide nut, patent sticker, pickups. I mean, it's got 65 pots, but it's really a transition guitar. It's right on the edge of 64 and 65. Has the 65 headstock angle, which is a little bit different from the 64, but that's really the only thing that's different with that guitar. I mean, it's very light. It just rings, man. I mean, I just was able to play it acoustically. I wasn't able to plug it in. But man, the guitar just rings and just sustains for days. So it's a killer guitar. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting that. But let's see. CZ says here, we appreciate you too. Thank you, CZ. Appreciate that. And CZ also says here, that's my daughter-in-law's hometown. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. Very cool. Let's see. We have Rock and Rollin' in the house. Hey, man, how's it going? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, your J45 videos inspired me to upgrade my acoustic. I just bought a Gibson Southern Jumbo, and it's the best guitar I've ever played. That's awesome. Very cool, man. Yeah, I mean, you got to have a great acoustic. You got to have something that's inspiring to play. Um, it's important, and the Gibson acoustics are pretty consistent, there's some issues like with a lot of reissue Gibson instruments. But they're great instruments, they're fine, I just don't really like to do or use, I mean, I like to use vintage acoustics, but I'm just not really big on collecting them like I am with electric guitars. The electric guitars are a lot more stable. A lot of the vintage acoustics just have a lot of issues. They'll need neck resets. I mean, they're just very fragile instruments, and the bridge is all effed up, and there's cracks everywhere in those vintage acoustics. So for me, I just like to use the reissue stuff, and I take it out on the road all the time because I play constantly. So they just work, man. They're just solid. They're definitely a little expensive. I don't, with these acoustics, some of the pricing on some of this stuff is just crazy, man, crazy expensive. But I have found that for the money, I think the Gibson acoustics are very consistent and very good. So, but that's great, man. I'm glad you're enjoying that acoustic. And we have Soldano in the house. He says here, "Hey Justin, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for being here, and really appreciate it. I hope you've been doing your homework for our lessons, which I'm sure you have. You were very prepared on our last lesson, so I thought that was awesome. So keep it up, man. Good job." Let's see. CZ says here, "Rock steady road guy Justin. It happens." Meaning being late and can't help it. Yeah, definitely. There was just nothing we could do about it. I mean, with how bad the storms were and everything with the bad flooding and everything, there was just literally nothing we could do. I mean, we were trying to go northbound, and we were at a standstill for like an hour and a half, and I was asleep for most of the whole trip, but I woke up like during that little part, and I was like, man, we're not even moving, and it feels like it's been a while. But yeah, it was just a really fun trip. It was really cool, very quick trip, but and just a lot going on, man. I mean, it's like every second there was something going on, whether I was moving to the venue, I was going to going to a sound check, or checking into the hotel, or checking out the SG. I mean, it was just a really, really busy trip, man. So I'm definitely pretty tired, but definitely a lot of fun. Let's see. Godson says here, "Nice. Cannot wait to hear the SG." And he also says here, "How was the neck?" Oh man, the neck was amazing. I mean, that's a really honest guitar. Everything looks really good. I really took a look at the heel, and man, I mean, there's no heel repair. There's no headstock repair. It's just really clean, man. And, there's no finish that's like flaking off the back of the neck. It just really feels good. It's just a really honest guitar, man. It's just phenomenal. It's very lightweight, and acoustically, it just rings for days. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. So it's definitely going to be a cool one for sure. But let's see. CZ says here, one of Tom's viewers today on the program said he had an acoustic guitar under his bed for 30 years and had not taken it out of the case in all that time. Wow. That's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, that's a long time. I'd be curious what's all up with that acoustic though, because I tell you, man, these acoustics, and especially if it hasn't been properly humidified through all those years, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of issues with that thing. Probably will need like a neck set, it'll need some kind of repair. I mean, those vintage acoustics, man, there's just so much up with them, man. It's just crazy. And it's just, they sound great. I mean, of course, if you're recording a lot of acoustic, it's nice to have the old wood, it's a much warmer tone, but the reissue stuff is just pretty consistent. There's definitely issues with the reissue stuff as well, but that is really cool though. I mean, man, that's crazy to have a guitar, underneath a bed for 30 years and not play it. So pretty wild. But yeah, folks, thanks so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. It really means the world to me. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. And I don't make anything on these live streams. So if you guys would like to support the channel, be sure to check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. There's many ways that you can support my channel. I offer one-on-one online lessons. So if you are interested in that, hit me up at jkm4231@gmail.com. It's also linked down below in the description box. I just created a new Patreon page. So if you guys would like to check that out, the Patreon page is going to be a completely different experience than my one-on-ones. Really, all the Patreon is going to be is basically like a paid membership, like a private Instagram page, basically, where I'm going to be breaking down and give out little mini lessons. I'm breaking down my YouTube intros that I create here, that I compose here on YouTube with my solo guitar arrangements. So I'll be breaking that down. But it's just going to be a completely different experience for my one-on-ones. I realize that there's some people out there that can't quite afford the one-on-ones. So that's why I'm trying to offer a Patreon. But I think I'll also do, one live stream a month just with the Patreon members that are on there. So be sure to check that out. If you guys want to subscribe to that, check that out. But again, this is going to be totally different than my one-on-ones. I want to really make that clear that it's not going to be the same whatsoever. It's just going to be little mini lessons on breaking apart my YouTube intros, and that's pretty much it. I'll try to update it. Like I say, it's kind of like an Instagram page where, maybe if I'm out on the road or something, I'll do a post or something like this. But, it's going to be totally different than my one-on-ones. And I want to make that very clear with that Patreon page. But go and check that out. If you guys want to throw a little love in the Venmo or the PayPal tip jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, again, any and all support is really, really appreciated, because I don't make anything off of these live streams. So be sure to check out all that stuff. But let's see, where the hell was I? I think it was here. See, CZ says here, we're going to have to get an update on that. Tom had a couple ideas, what he thought it might yield. He said next set. Yep, definitely. Yeah, I'm sure it will definitely need that. And CZ says here, you did the Patreon. Yeah, did the Patreon. So go and check that out. But once again, I want to make it very clear that it's completely different than my one-on-ones. So it's completely different. It's really just going to be little mini lessons about my YouTube music intros. And it's just another way for somebody to support my channel. So be sure to check out all that stuff. And again, any and all support is really appreciated. I really need your guys' support, for me to be able to continue on doing this, and you guys have made a huge, huge difference in my life, for sure. So I'm forever thankful to all the supporters out there. But let's see. Godson says here, how do you see the AI in the music industry? I hope it cannot beat the human talent, but sometimes it worries me. Yeah, for sure, man. I tell you, man, the AI stuff, I mean, it's just getting better and better. I mean, I was seeing something. I can't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head, but it was something that somebody said that like within 10 years, I mean, basically almost everything is going to be pretty much gone because of AI and just how good it will be at that point. But I feel like with music, man, I mean, it just will never take away, anything really. I mean, I think with playing guitar, especially, it's such a human thing, the way that everybody plays is so different. But, I think bass players, I think, even like track guys, like, man, a friend of mine was showing me the other day that he used that AI to create just a little demo for a song that he had wrote. So he went in and uploaded all of the lyrics and everything, and like the key of the song that they wrote it in and stuff, and all the changes and stuff. And, it literally created a full production, a full-on demo of this song within a matter of like 3 minutes, and he had multiple options. So I think it could be something that's really cool for a songwriter, where like maybe you're just trying to get an idea of what this song would sound like within a full production without having to have a track guy or have somebody that you have to hire on to create this track. And it takes all this time, where like, man, if you just kind of want to get a quick little idea for like a demo on this song or something, I mean, you could upload that And I think he was telling me it's like $100 a year or something like this. So it's pretty incredible. I mean, how affordable it is. So I think, some of that stuff, man, it's definitely going to change up a lot of stuff for sure. But I think as far as like live music goes, that will never go away because of that experience, that connection with the fans and the band and the artist. And, there's just no replacing that ever. It's just a, you know, one of a kind of thing. It doesn't matter, no matter how good the AI gets, it's never going to change that. So, um, I just that's really kind of my opinion on it. I mean, I think for songwriters, it's going to be interesting. I don't really know what to predict. I mean, I think again with like track guys or producers, I mean, it's definitely going to change up the whole business for sure. But again, that human element to music is just something you can never replace. So it's just my opinion. But yeah, great question for sure. And CZ says here, Gotson never with a heart emoji. Yeah, I definitely agree. I just think that that human element to music, man, it's just it's something very special, and it's just you really feel that. You can never underestimate your listener. You can never underestimate your listener because they know, and when they feel something that really hits, that just is coming from a very personal place, your listener really feels that, and you can never underestimate your listener again. So I think with AI, that will never be able to achieve that. So, but CZ says here, feel can not be replaced. That's so true. Very true. And let's see here. Oh, thanks so much, CZ. I really appreciate it. I just got your PayPal tip. Thanks so much for that. I'll give you some sound effects. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. And that just helps out so much. So thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate it. And, once again, folks, if you guys would like to support the channel and you guys want to throw a little love in the PayPal or the Venmo tip jar, check out all of the links that I have down below. There's so many ways you can support the channel, but my PayPal and my Venmo tip jar are down there. And, with PayPal and Venmo, it's really helpful to receive payment on there because I don't get hit with any kind of fees. The super chats here on YouTube, I get hit with a percentage, a pretty hefty percentage on that. So I'm not actually collecting 100% of that. So that's very helpful. But again, any and all support is really appreciated. So be sure again to check out all of the links that I have down below there. There's all kinds of ways you can support this channel. So again, thank you so much for that, CZ. Really appreciate that. And Godson says here, we need your original music, Justin. Yeah, definitely, man. It's a work in progress for sure. I'm starting to feel a lot more confident in my singing voice. So I've kind of thought about maybe just going in the studio myself and just trying to put some stuff out there and, sing the stuff and play down the guitars and, maybe hire on a drummer, or I've even thought about maybe playing the stuff myself, and just put the stuff out there and see how it goes. So, we'll see though. I still have the collaboration going. It's just been a very slow moving process. It's just difficult, man, because I play so much as a hired on musician. So it's like I'm working with so many different bands all the time, different bands on different weekends. So, I'm constantly learning new music. I'm going out on the road. I'm teaching. I'm doing gigs in town. I'm doing all this stuff constantly. So it's just hard to find the time to be able to really devote this time to just writing the music and doing all that when I'm working so much as a musician here in Nashville. It's just, I'm very thankful for the work and I'm not complaining in any way, but it's a lot, man. The travel, I'm constantly traveling, I'm learning new music because I'm playing with different bands. And, it's something that I wanted to talk about too, because I don't think people really realize how often that this happens here in Nashville. But when you're doing the kind of stuff that I'm doing, a lot of this kind of hired gun stuff, a lot of the time, I don't even know the guys in the band. We're literally just meeting for the very first time. So I'll do all my homework here at home in my home studio, and I'll learn all the music, and we will literally get together at the bus or van call, and we are literally just meeting for the very first time, and we're going out to go play a weekend of shows, So we're going to be playing down this material. And, this is just a required skill. I mean, if you're looking to be a pro musician here in Nashville, you need to be able to learn the music and be able to show up and deliver and play. It's so important. And, you have to be able to learn music very quickly because, you know, there's sometimes where you could have just a couple days before you're leaving to go on tour and hit the road. So it's pretty wild, man, how it works. But, that's a lot of the time, these gigs that I'm taking where I'm literally just meeting these guys for the very first time. We've never rehearsed, never done anything together. We're literally just meeting for the first time. And then we're literally jumping in the van or jumping in the bus and we're hitting the road. So, it's pretty amazing, man. But, it's just incredible, to be able to meet these guys for the first time and just deliver like I do all the time, and that's something that, a lot of the musicians here on YouTube or in general, there's no way that they would be able to do something like this because it's very difficult. But, it's a required skill if you're actually a professional musician here in Nashville. You have to be able to learn the music very quickly, and you have to do all your homework at home and then go out and perform and travel for hours on end. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of fun hitting the road, but it's a lot of work, man. It's learning music. It's traveling for hours on end and late nights. And, like even today, I'm very jet lagged. You could probably tell I'm a little tired, but, after the show last night, I mean, man, as soon as we got done, we got in and we headed back to Nashville, and that was an 8-hour ride, and I was just up real late. I just had a hard time. Like after the show, I have a hard time going to sleep because I'm still buzzed. I'm still like, feeling that adrenaline from playing the show and everything. So it just takes me a while to go to sleep. And, it's all these little things, and it can be a lot for sure. But yeah, definitely. I definitely want to get original music out there. Sorry, this is kind of a long-winded answer, but yeah, definitely want to do that eventually. And that will happen for sure. Let's see here, though. We have B. Heg in the house. Hey, man, how's it going? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, hello, Justin. Who are your biggest musical influences and how have they shaped your style? Man, great question, man. Yeah, man, I have a wide range of influences. I listen to all kinds of stuff. I grew up more of a rocker. I used to listen to a lot of like Motley Crue, so I loved Mick Mars and his style. I mean, of course, Eddie Van Halen was a huge inspiration. George Lynch was a huge inspiration on me. So I loved all that kind of stuff growing up. But, I also love jazz as well. Like I love George Benson. He's one of my favorite players for that style. He was a huge influence on me. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, man, I have such a wide range. I love country guitar playing. I love jazz. I love rock. I just love music in general. So all of this stuff, even pop music, it's just all, I just put all of this stuff into one big bowl and just mix it all up. And that's what you get from my playing. It's just all of these little things that I pick up on. And, I've been doing this stuff now for a long time. I've been a professional musician here in Nashville for the past decade now. So 10 years now at this point. So, I've really, really honed my craft. And, it's taken a lot of time. I mean, when I was a kid, I picked up the guitar very naturally. I started getting really good at a really young age. And, I was always around other musicians and always playing in different bands and taking gigs and just anything that I could do to get out there, to just get out and just play with other musicians that were better than me, or, just get out and play, man, and play with other human beings, And I think that's definitely something that's missing from today's musicians for sure, because, with all this social media crap, I mean, you can just sit in a bedroom and just play guitar. And it's like, whenever I hear a lot of the players that are on here, you can clearly hear that they've never done any kind of real gigging or touring, or like they don't really have any kind of experience actually playing with other bands. A lot of the playing is just very amateur, to be honest, on here. But it's just something I really feel that is missing from musicians today, is all I'm just trying to say. Like nobody really plays with other musicians, it's very strange, but that's what really shaped my style. I think just getting out there and performing for people and, just listening to all kinds of different music, Like with George Benson, I love what he does where he'll play guitar and sing along at the same time. So, for me, like I try to do this whenever I'm going into solo. If I'm composing something, I'll try to hear stuff in my head and sing it out loud and then match the pitch with my guitar. And it's just a really good way to connect with what it is that you're playing, right? Because with playing guitar, you could play a million notes and never get tired, right? And never have to take a breath, for example. Whereas if you're singing, you have to take a breath. So it's a really good way to just connect with what it is you're actually playing, from within your soul, and to also, really think more like a vocalist would rather than just playing a million notes. It's much more musical when you do that kind of thing. So that's just a little example of something that I really like that George Benson does. But I have so many influences, and again, like it's all of these things, like it's rock, the pop music, the country music, and the jazz music that I listened to growing up that really shaped my style. I just take a little bit of everything and just put it into one big bowl and stir it on up, and that's what you get. So that's what's really created my playing and what has made me the musician that I am. So great question though. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. Rock and Rollin' says here, do you own any guitars with Bigsby's? Any experience with them? Yeah, I've got experience with them. I don't have anything with a Bigsby. I'm not a big fan of Bigsby's, to be honest. I really don't like them. I mean, they don't really stay in tune that well, and I just don't really like it. For me, I'm not a big tremolo guy. I don't really need the trem arm, and like especially on a 335, I would much rather have a factory stop tail 335 than one with a Bigsby. I just don't need it. Just don't need it. So not a huge fan of them, and I don't have any guitars with one right now. But I honestly would love to get like a Jazzmaster or get like a Jaguar or something and just have like a trem arm, just for a little shake, a little something. If you're like hitting a big G chord or something on a chorus, you just want a little shake off the trem. It's a cool thing for sure. So that's definitely something that I would love to have. And Broom Guitars right now has a 59 Jazzmaster that is beautiful. I went in there and played it the other day, and man, it was just incredible. But it's also 19,000. But really, really cool guitar for sure. Let's see. CZ says here, is that a better way to give than YouTube? Yeah, it definitely is. Because either way, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just obviously they take a pretty hefty percentage of the amount that is given here on YouTube, which rightfully so. It's the platform here, so that's fair enough. But yeah, definitely Venmo or PayPal if you're going to support the channel and throw a tip. That is definitely better for sure. So, but let's see. CZ says here, I'm out of sync. You're answering what I'll ask after later in the thread. Or yeah, forgive me, please. All good. No problem. Let's see. Russ is in the house. Hey, Russ, how's it going, man? It says here, SV20H or a 50-watt Plexi clone that has a master volume, home playing, no gigging, but want that full classic rock Plexi sound. Man. If you're gonna do the Plexi thing, I would, at minimum get a 50-watt. The 20-watt is just not the same to me. I know some guys that like them, but and I've played them and they're cool, they're okay, but once you go below 50 watts, it's just not the same experience. And to be honest, even one with a master volume, that's also going to change the experience. Anytime, it doesn't matter what they say and how good their master volume is, supposedly. If you add a master volume to a Plexi amp, it will change the sound. It just will. It doesn't matter how good that the master volume is that they claim. It just doesn't matter how good it is. It's always going to change the sound no matter what. I'm just a full-on believer with it. Even if they say that if you have it on 10 and it's out of the circuit, something is different with it, man. It's not the same, and I'm fortunate that, I have four of them. I have four real Plexi panel amps, and they're all 68s. The base spec one is sold, by the way, and I'm selling the lead spec, and that is pending right now. Um, but I have a lot of experience with real legitimate Plexi amps, and man, I've tried so many of these clones that have a master volume, or oh, they say it's an exact recreation of a Plexi or whatever. And it's just so different, man. It's not even close to being the same amp. I mean, it is crazy to me, how they can claim that the stuff is exactly the same when it's not. It's totally different. I mean, so it's just kind of crazy. But yeah, like the 20-watt Plexi, man. I mean, they're okay, but it's just not the same. Like to me, the Plexi sound is 50 watts. You have to have 50 watts minimum. If you have the 100-watt, even better. But it has to be 50 minimum to have that Plexi thing happening for sure. But let's see here. Godson says here, did you have guitar teachers when you were little, or are you self-taught? Yeah, man. I had some teachers growing up when I was a kid. But from a professional standpoint, I'm completely self-taught. So like I moved here to Nashville right out of high school. And literally everything that I've ever learned to this point in the music business has just been by actually being out there and doing it. I never went to a college or like a Belmont or something like this. So really professionally, from that standpoint, I'm completely self-taught. I had a few teachers growing up when I was a kid, but what ended up happening, to be honest, was I started getting so good because I practiced so much myself and I was playing with other musicians that I actually would get better than the teachers. And so it just kind of became like there really was no point to go and do these lessons, so my ears started getting so good. And I realized that from a really young age, that I could listen to any record and be able to hear what's going on and actually be able to learn it just by ear. So that's really, I mean, yeah, like I took some lessons growing up, but really how I learned was just by listening to records and getting out there and playing with other musicians. That's really how I learned. And as far as like all of the Nashville stuff, I'm completely self-taught. Like I came down here pretty much right out of high school, and I've worked with so many artists and so many bands and have been all over. And I'm completely self-taught whenever it comes to the Nashville thing. So you know, so there's that. But yeah, it's right here. Rock and Rollin' says, get a Gretsch. Yeah, man, a Gretsch would be cool. I would love to have one with like Filtertrons. That's a particular tone. I actually used to have one, but I got rid of it. But yeah, Gretsch would be cool. Those are great, man. I like those instruments, but it just never ends. It never ends. It's like you think you have everything, but it's always like, oh, there's something else that would be really nice to have. Like I'm going out and I'm buying the 65 SG that's 64 specs. So it has the neck, it has the wide nut, it has the nickel parts, and it's just amazing. But it's not cheap, so it's like I got to get that. I've got to get a Jazzmaster or a Jaguar or something. I really would love to have like a late 60s Les Paul Custom. I'd love to have a great vintage Telly, which I'm working up a deal for one with a really prolific musician. And I'm trying to make that work, but that ain't cheap either. So it just never ends. Never ends. But let's see here. Kyle's in the house. Hey, Kyle, how's it going, man? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, hi, Justin. I love your playing intros on your videos. Keep it up. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun, man. I love composing, and all of those intros are just completely improvised. I'll hear something in my head and I'll just hit record, man. And, I'll do 1-2 takes tops on those playing intros. A lot of the time I'll do a second take just because I'm hearing something a little bit different, but all of that stuff is completely improvised. It's all stuff that I just hear in my head. And I just create and compose these intros for all my videos because it's just fun. I enjoy it. And since you enjoy the intros, check out my Patreon page. I just started it up, And what I'm doing is I'm going to be just doing like these little mini lessons that are going to be breaking down these intros. So you may really like that. So check that out. I do also offer one-on-one lessons as well, which is a completely different experience from my Patreon. But check out all of that stuff, man. There's many ways to support the channel, but I really appreciate your support, even with you just watching the videos. So, and thanks so much for being here. Let's see. Russ says here, thanks for the perspective on the Plexi. So would a 50-watt Plexi with a quality attenuator be a good route for playing at home and not go completely deaf? Yeah, man. I mean, even running the attenuator, man, it's going to change the tone. It doesn't matter. Like, I will say there is that Fryette power station. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one, but that's an attenuator. And that is the best attenuator that I've actually tried. I feel like it does change the tone just a little bit, but, it's kind of one of those things like with a Plexi amp. I mean, the whole thing is like, just turn them up, man, and go, man. I mean, these Plexi panels that I have here, the late 60 ones, the 68s, are very different from the metal panel Plexis. They're not Plexis, they're the metal face. The early 70s ones. I mean, those ones are just punishing, just so loud. It's crazy. But these 68s are not really like that, man. They're not. You can really use the volume control, and it's not like a 71 or something. Like I had the 71 Super Lead that literally as soon as you just turn it on one, it's just screaming loud. So it's like those amps to me are just completely like unusable. I mean, unless you're in a studio where you could really crank them up and be able to mic it up and stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, they sound great. Some of them can sound really good, but to me, the late 60s Plexis, man, they're just the ultimate, man. They're so different than the metal face ones. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, if you're going to go that route, I would look into the power station. That's probably the best one that I have experience with. But any attenuator, man, it's going to change the tone just a little bit. So for me, I just plug it straight up right into a cabinet. I plug straight into it. If I'm playing through a bass spec one, I'll hit it with some pedals. Or if I'm playing like a lead spec one, I'll boost it with a GE7 EQ or an SD1 from Boss, just to get a little bit more gain out of it. But other than that, man, that's all you need. And then for me, I just play a lot with a guitar volume knob, so I'm able to just clean up. So whenever I need to change the level of gain, I'll just clean up with the guitar volume knob. So yeah, there's that. But B-Heg says here, as a guitarist, you are always being told to turn down, LOL. How do you tame your volume at live gigs and still get good tone? Yeah, man. I mean, really, if you're working with a professional sound person, a sound engineer, they'll never tell you to turn down. They're just going to mix around whatever you give them. So that's how it should always be. And, there's really no point. I mean, I'll never understand that, like on a live gig, they say, oh man, you got to turn the guitar amp down, when it's like you have a full-on drum kit that is right behind three live vocal mics. And, I take a listen to a lot of these mixes that these sound guys mix, and literally the loudest thing in the mix is the snare drum. It's literally louder than the vocal. I mean, it's pretty incredible, and you need to have some kind of stage volume. You need to be moving some air. I mean, there is no reason why you cannot take a deluxe reverb and turn it up to 3. There's no reason why you can't be doing that. So I just will never understand that. But, for me with the volume, I mean, it depends on the venue. If you're playing like a smaller club or something, it may be wise to get one of those sound barrier things that Clear Sonic makes, the little clear panel, just to be able to like control the sound just within the first couple of rows. Because when those people are right in the first couple rows there, I mean, they are hearing the stage volume, so when you have that amp turned up like that to even 3 on a deluxe reverb, I mean, those first couple rows, man, are getting just punished with guitar volume knob, with the guitar volume, on stage. So That may be something that's cool. Like I know Bonamassa, he uses those. I mean, but also he plays at a volume. I mean, he sets everything pretty much on like 10. I went to a sound check of his a while back, and he has those clear panels all over on all of the amps and stuff, but he plays at an incredibly loud stage volume. So for something like that, like, yeah, I could see, like, definitely it makes a lot of sense. But I don't know, man. If you're playing a deluxe reverb on 3, it's fine. I really wouldn't worry about it. So, but let's see here. Soldano says here, I had to drive an hour out, but got to play with the drummer. The deluxe reverb did not disappoint. That's awesome, man. Great. Yeah, it's a killer amp, man. You can't go wrong with those, man. You could do any gig, anything with those, man. I mean, they're plenty loud. They take pedals really well. They're very versatile. I mean, you could turn them up and drive the amp a little bit. Um, those are just amazing amps, man. And even just the standard reissue, like, you don't need the hand wired, you don't need anything fancy. Just the 65 reissue deluxe reverb, that with like an R9 or something like this, dude, it sounds great, man. I mean, for a live gig, it's phenomenal. I mean, that's literally what I use on the road all the time. I use just a standard deluxe reverb reissue on stage. It's very consistent. I get the stage volume. It's a very simple amp to use. I never have any issues with it. And man, it takes pedals so well. And like lately, I've been using this Bogner Lagrange pedal that just sounds amazing, man. It's just been incredible. I have been so happy with that thing. It just basically turns that deluxe reverb into a plexi, man. It's crazy how good it is. I mean, it's of course not the same as the real amp, of course, but that said, it's like, man, it sounds dang good, man. For a pedal, it's excellent. So that into a deluxe reverb, I have a little carbon copy delay that I use. And then I've just got one of those HX1s from Line 6 Effects. And man, just sounds incredible. So that's what I've been doing a lot for a lot of these live gigs. I just have a very simple setup, just 4 pedals into a deluxe reverb, and that's it. But let's see. Solano says here, Watermelon Crawl was fun. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, man, for sure. That's a classic, man. Absolute classic. Let's see. Godson says here, man, the best volume comment I have heard. No one complains about drummers. I think the best approach is to have different size amps for different size venues. Yeah, totally, man. I mean, I just will never understand that. I mean, it's like, this is supposed to be a country band, and you take a listen to the live mix, and literally the snare drum is like a lead instrument. I mean, it's above the vocals, it's above the guitars. Like, it's crazy how bad some of these mixes are that I hear. It's just mind-blowing. And even how they have stuff EQ'd, it's like, man, they're making this country band sound like a 80s hair band or something. So it's pretty wild. But yeah, it just depends on the gig, and that's why I have several amps and several setups. It just depends on the kind of music that I'm playing. It depends on the stage. It depends on a lot of things. So that's why I have all kinds of different stuff. And now, really with the instruments, I like to have all of the different flavors. I like to have like a 335. I like to have an SG, a Les Paul, a Tele, a Strat, something with P90s. Even like a Jazzmaster or a Jaguar would be really cool. So that's on my list. I'd like to get one of those, but that's how I always approach it. I mean, even with the instruments that I have, I have a very small collection of instruments, but they're all perfect, man. They're all really dialed in, and they all serve a particular purpose. And for whatever kind of music that I get hired on for, I'm prepared for it. I have a Tele, I have a Strat, I have a 335, I have, a Les Paul. So really just depends on the music. And same with the amps too. Like for me, I like to have a Marshall, I like to have a Fender, and I like to have a Vox. If you cannot get this guitar sound that you're looking for out of those amplifiers, I don't know what to tell you. There's all of these boutique amp companies, and there's so much gear out there. It's incredible. And some of the prices on some of this stuff too is just, it's just insane, man. Completely out of control. And it's just like, for me, I would rather just wait it out and just get the real deal, That's how I have all of this stuff. I never really messed with any of the boutique amps that are, way overhyped and they're way overpriced. I mean, some of the prices on some of the stuff, it's like $5,000 for a tube amp. I mean, it's one thing if it's a vintage amplifier and it's actually collectible and it's very sought after, that's totally different. I'm taking that stuff completely out of what I'm about to say here, but for a brand new amplifier, for that to cost $5,000 or $6,000, that is crazy to me, man. Absolutely insane. I mean, if you're going to spend some money on a reissue amp, just get a deluxe reverb, get a 65 reissue. I think brand new, they're $1,700. And by the way, folks, I'm a Sweetwater Music affiliate partner. You can go ahead and click the link down below, and I just get a small little commission off of the sale. So if you are looking to purchase a deluxe reverb, check out the link down below in the description box. I just get a small little commission off the sale. Doesn't cost you guys anything extra whatsoever. But go and check them out, man. I mean, just a reissue deluxe, it's phenomenal. That's all you need, man. You don't need one of these fancy, super overpriced and super overhyped amp, Just throw down a deluxe, man, and mic it up. It'll sound killer. But yeah, that's how I approach it. I have all kinds of different flavors, whether it's the Fender, Marshall, the Vox, and for my instruments, Gibsons, 335s, Les Pauls, SG. For Fender, I'm a Gibson Fender guy, so I like the Strat, a Tele, Jazzmaster or a Jaguar. And that's pretty much it, man. It's really simple. So that's just really what my approach is. Let's see here. We got Vito in the house. Hey, Vito, how's it going, man? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, you and Pete Thorne Sunday streams are a nice treat for the end of the week. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here. And by the way, folks, these live streams are a total donation of time. And I should take the time to mention that I make literally nothing on these live streams. So if you guys would like to support the channel, be sure to check out all of the links I have down below in the description box. There's many ways you can support this channel. I offer one-on-one online lessons, and you're actually seeing and hearing the exact setup that I use for these lessons. Everything is shot on a 4K definition camera. It's all pro video and pro audio. And what's so cool with these lessons is that you'll actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself at the very end. So you could just simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want. So you could actually retain all of the information that I give out within these lessons. So for more info on this, hit me up today at jkm4231@gmail.com. That's jkm4231@gmail.com. It's also linked down below in the description box. Now, there's several other ways you can support the channel. I have a brand new Patreon page, and also I have a Venmo and PayPal tip jar. So if you guys want to throw a little love in the tip jar, any and all support is really, really appreciated. So thanks so much for listening. And it looks like here we just got a Venmo tip from Brian. Thanks so much, Brian. Really appreciate that. Give you some sound effects. Thank you, man. Really, really appreciate that. I make absolutely nothing on these live streams, so it's totally a donation of time. So, any and all support is really, really appreciated. Let's see. Godson says here, do you think you will jump to studio musician industry in the future? I really think you would be great. Yeah, man, definitely. I do some stuff. I don't do a lot. Every now and again, I'll get hired on for something, but I'm mainly a live guy right now. I've been on tour a lot. I work with bands and artists all the time. I mean, I'm pretty much out every weekend of the year. Really like December 15th through January 15th normally is pretty slow for me just because of the holidays and stuff. But, literally every weekend of the year, whether I'm playing in town or, during the week, I play a lot in town. I do get some session stuff every now and again, but I just don't really get a lot of it. I'm mainly a live guy right now, but yeah, that's definitely for me, the plan. I definitely want to get into that. And, even through YouTube, I mean, I've been hired on for a lot of sessions actually just through doing the YouTube thing. A lot of people have reached out that they want me to play on their songs. So I've done stuff here at home or even some producers here in Nashville have reached out and wanted to hire me for sessions and stuff. So, it's really cool. So we'll definitely see where that goes, for sure. But definitely, that's definitely the plan for sure. So, and I've already done some stuff, so I have some experience, and um, yeah, so very cool there. But yeah, I've just been so busy, folks. I've been on tour. I mean, I'm out every weekend. I have a bunch of gigs here in town this week. Um, I'm playing again this weekend, next week. I mean, I'm just working constantly. So it's a lot, man. I'm trying to find the time to write my own original music and to really get in the studio and focus in on that. But it's been difficult, because I just have so much music that I've got to learn. And, I'm teaching, I'm doing YouTube, I'm creating videos, so I'm just incredibly busy. But I'm, really happy to, be doing all this stuff. It's really been amazing. I work constantly here in Nashville. So, I really appreciate everybody's support, all the people that hire me. It's amazing too how many people watch the show. I'll be out on the road, man, on the weekend, and you'd be amazed how many people will stop me and they recognize me from my show. I mean, it's just incredible the amount of people that just really love what I do. And, it turns out they're over at the show, or, I see them out in public, or, even this guy I'm doing this deal with the SG, he recognized me from my show, so it's pretty wild. But yeah, just pretty amazing. But let's see here. Looks like we've got another Venmo tip. Let's see. I'm trying to pull it up here. We got Sean here with the Venmo tip. Thanks so much, Sean. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you. More sound effects. I got to try to find some new ones to upload on here and change it up a little bit. But thanks so much, Sean. I really appreciate that. Once again, folks, I don't make anything on these live streams whatsoever. I mean, it's a totally, donation of time. I don't make anything on this. So any and all support is really, really appreciated, So be sure to check out all of the links that I have down below. I offer one-on-one lessons. I have a Venmo tip jar, a PayPal tip jar, and I also have a brand new Patreon page as well. So be sure to check out all that stuff. Let's see here. We have Pasta Potate in the house. What's going on, Pasta? That sounds pretty dang good right now, actually. Hell. Thanks so much for being here. But let's see here. Russ says here, could you speak to your online lesson format? I.e., what do you start with? Are they theory-based, lock-based, etc.? Yeah, so I have my own curriculum that I do teach, but really the whole idea with these online lessons is it's all for you guys. It's all in whatever that you guys are trying to get out of this. It really depends on the player, and they're all tailored to your playing style and what you actually really want to get out of them. So if you want to dive into my curriculum, of course we could do that. But if you want to work on something else, there's no ego, like it's all good, it's totally all about whatever you guys want to get out of them. So I definitely do have my own curriculum as well. And I go over all of the concepts, and I go over everything and how I approach the instrument and everything that I've learned here in Nashville with over this entire 10-year period now at this point. This is how I've learned all of this stuff, by actually doing this. And this is all I do as a musician. I just make my living by just playing guitar. That's it. That's all I do. I don't have anything else. There's a lot of people that try to claim that they're a professional musician, but they actually have a day job or something like this. They try to say that they have all this experience, but they really don't, but this is all I do. I play constantly, and this is how I've learned all of this stuff. So everything that I've learned up to this point is all stuff that I go over within these lessons, So it's a really, really great deal in what I charge. And it's very professional as well. It's also something I should say, like, you can see here how good the video is and how good everything sounds. I really spent the money, and I really took the time and put in the effort to really make it really nice. A lot of my competition, they just film on an iPhone 11 or whatever, and it's kind of half-assed. For me, I just wouldn't feel good about that. I really want it to be really solid, and I want the customer and my fan to really have a great experience with this. And everybody that takes the lessons, man, everybody, it's been consistent. And I teach people from all over the world. As soon as they take the first lesson, they're immediately hooked on it because they see how good it works. They get the recorded copy of it at the very end, so you could just download the video. I mean, I think it is the best platform that is out there. I mean, it is literally even better than actually taking a physical lesson, like an in-person lesson, because you actually get a recorded copy and it works so good. There's no delay, there's no echo on my voice or anything. Like, it just works so well. It's just incredible. So I cannot recommend it enough. I really stand behind what I put out there because I think it is some of the best, and it's very, very competitively priced too. My competition charges way more money than I do, and I have a lot of money invested in all this equipment that it takes to do this stuff. So, again, for more information on this, hit me up on my email. It's just jkm4231@gmail.com. It's also linked down below in the description box. So just send me an email, and I'd be happy to get you some more information on it. But thanks so much for the question, Russ. Really, really do appreciate it. Let's see. Godson says here, what music do you listen to right now? Any new artists? Man, good question, man. To be honest, I don't really listen to a lot of music, man, to be honest. I play so much and I learn so much music as it is that whenever I'm just like driving or going somewhere, I really just drive in silence. I don't even listen to any music actually because I'm just around it so much, and I just kind of need to take a little bit of a break. But recently, I mean, he's not a new artist, but I've been listening a lot to Aaron Lewis. He is one of my favorite singers of all time. I mean, he is so good, man. He is just excellent. And I love his singing voice. I love his style. His songwriting is excellent. And his stuff with Stained is just heavy as all hell. And he's just great, man. He's really, really good. So I've been listening to him for a little bit, but yeah, outside of that, lately, I don't think I've really listened to very much, man. Like I was saying, I kind of don't really listen to a lot of music, because I just play so much and I'm constantly listening to music in general here in my home studio or just playing it live or recording it or whatever it is I'm doing. So, but yeah, folks, once again, if you guys feel like you got something out of today's live stream and you guys want to support the channel, be sure to check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. There's many ways you can support the channel, whether it's throwing a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream. Any and all support is really appreciated. And, I do offer one-on-one online lessons as well. So if you guys are interested in that, I know we've been talking about that here in today's live stream. A lot of people interested in it. And I'm teaching people from all over the world. So if you want some more information on this, just hit me up at my email. It's jkm4231@gmail.com. I'm also a Sweetwater Music affiliate partner. So if you're looking to buy any kind of gear, whether it's a deluxe reverb reissue, we've been talking a lot about that here in today's live stream. If you click the link down below with the Sweetwater link, I just get a small little commission off the sale. And, it doesn't cost you guys anything extra. So if you're already looking to buy some kind of guitar gear or something from Sweetwater, it's just a cool way to support the channel. It doesn't cost anything. And, Sweetwater is great, man. They've been really great to deal with. And I've bought a lot of stuff from them, man. It's amazing the amount of gear that they have there. It's just incredible. And I really would love to go up there and check out the facility. I've never actually been. That'd be really cool someday. But yeah, so check out all of that stuff. I think I'm caught up on the tips. Yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, check out all that stuff. And I've just got another really busy week here in Nashville, playing a bunch. I'm teaching a bunch, and be on the lookout for some more videos. I got to get some more videos up. I apologize for not getting very many videos up. It's just been really, really busy for me, and it's hard to find the time to make the videos sometimes because I'm playing so much and doing all this stuff. So just stay tuned though. Be on the lookout for some more videos. And had a cool week. I went over to Bukavac's house the other night, which was really cool. That was a lot of fun, and hung out for a while, and um, played in Detroit this past weekend. I'm a little tired, like I was saying, little jet lagged. We left last night after the show, and I didn't get back this morning until like 5:30 or 6 or something like this. So it was just a really really late night, and I just had a hard time going to sleep last night, to be honest, because I was still wired from the show, just from all the adrenaline and just how much fun I was having. And it just was hard for me to sleep, last night, but got some rest, and slept a little bit here today, which was good when I got home. So, um, I feel good now, at least, but a little jet lag. But I appreciate everybody so much joining me here in today's live stream. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer it. Um, these live streams are all about you guys, and once again, if you guys would like to support the channel, I don't make anything on these live streams whatsoever. So any, contributions, any support is really, really appreciated. I have a Venmo or PayPal tip jar. I offer one-on-one online lessons, so I'd be happy to teach you. Send me an email, jkm4231@gmail.com. And I do have a brand new Patreon page. The Patreon page is a completely different experience than what my one-on-ones are. They're just going to be little mini lessons that break down my YouTube music intros that I compose and write for my YouTube channel. And it's basically just going to be like a paid Instagram page, essentially, is all it's going to be. And I may do like a live stream maybe once a month or something like this. But, the one-on-ones are my main thing. It's just an amazing experience. And everybody that takes my lessons, they just absolutely love it. I've had students of mine for, literally over a year now at this point. I started it in March of last year, and I've had students ever since. As soon as people sign up for the first lesson, they take that first lesson, they experience it, they're just immediately hooked on it. So I really stand behind it. It's a really amazing product. And, it's very, very fair in what I charge. And it's just a great, great product. I really stand behind it. So again, my email is jkm4231@gmail. If you're interested in this, hit me up today. I'd be happy to get you down on the books today. And, I've just got a busy week here in Nashville, folks. Once again, I'm playing a bunch and just doing a lot of teaching. And I'm going to try to get some more videos out, like I was saying. I'm pretty excited. I'm buying this 65 SG that is really kick-ass. It's all 64 specs, so it's got the wide nut. It's all nickel parts. It doesn't have the 17-degree headstock angle like the 64 would. So it's a 65, so it has the 14-degree one, so that's a little bit different. But everything else is completely original. It's a transition-era guitar for Gibson, but it's amazing, man. It's got the wide nut. It's got the patent sticker pickups, and, there's 65 pots. There's no breaks, no heel repair either, which is really excellent. The SGs always have a heel repair a lot of the time, just because it's a pretty weak spot and it's kind of a flawed design. But, man, it's just a really kick-ass guitar. So I'm really excited about that. I'll be buying that here shortly. By the way, folks, I do have some gear available for sale as well. I still have those Analog Man modded Boss pedals. All of that stuff is still for sale. The bass spec Marshall is sold. The 60 TV Yellow Les Paul Special is sold. And the lead spec Marshall, the 50 watt, is spoken for. It is pending right now. I'll keep you guys updated if something changes. But right now, I do have a buyer for all of that stuff. Definitely the bass spec and the Les Paul Special is sold. That is off the table. It's gone. But the 50 watt lead spec is pending right now. So, that's that there. I still have those Boss pedals available though. I'm trying to think of what else I've got, for sale right now. Oh, I do have that Super Champ, the Fender Super Champ. It's a 84 Super Champ. It's all original. And that is currently available for sale. So hit me up about that if you're interested in that. It's a really kick-ass amp. And what else do I have? I think that's pretty much it for right now. So I'll keep you guys updated if I have some more stuff. But yeah, anyways, let's see here. Godson says here, what are your favorite guitar stores in the US? I bet you are able to visit a lot of them while touring. Yeah, man, I try to really get out there. Whenever I'm touring, I normally have time during the day before we got to go to the venue. So I normally try to go, and check out a lot of these stores. I mean, man, there's so many good shops out there. It's incredible. I mean, it's just amazing the amount of stuff that is out there. I mean, there's so many good shops. One of my favorites, of course, is Chicago Music Exchange. That's one of my favorite stores. It's just beautiful in there. And man, the people are so nice in there. And it's just so cool the way that it's laid out, man. It feels like you're just like in this mansion, basically. And you could just take any guitar off the wall, man, and just play it and hear it acoustically. And you can plug it in. They have all kinds of demo rooms and stuff with all these different amps. And it's just really, really a great store. I love that place. That's a standout place. I'm trying to think of some other ones though, man. Honestly, I mean, off the top of my head, I've been to so many that it's crazy, but that's definitely a standout one. I love that. I love Grunes, of course, that's a great store. I used to like Carter Vintage, but they tried to scam me out of like $600 for this matchless that I sold there. So it was kind of crazy. And they weren't really that friendly with me either about it, which I didn't really like that. So that's why I pulled all of my stuff, and that's why I'm just selling the stuff myself, because I just didn't like the way I was treated there. But yeah, I mean, there's that. I'm trying to think of some other stores, man. Really, I mean, really, Chicago Music Exchange, man, is a standout one for sure. So I'll just say that for right now. Let's see. Scott is in the house. Hey, what's going on, Scott? Good to see you. Says here, I thought you were buying a Telecaster. Yeah, man, I'm working on it. It's just not cheap. It's, it's a lot of money. So it's a lot of dough. So it's just about 50 grand. So let's see. We've got Tony in the house. Hey, man, how's it going? New name here. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. It says here, I'd like to see a video of you elaborating on the effects loop connections you use on the HX1 on your small board. Yeah, sure, man. It's super simple, really. I mean, I could make a video on that. It's very simple. I mean, really, you just use the send and return. The send will go into the input of your first pedal, and then the return will go into the output of your final pedal. And it's really flexible. The HX1, I've said it, multiple times at this point, but I think it is the best guitar pedal that has come out in the past 20 years. It's absolutely incredible. And the sounds in it are absolutely amazing. You can literally program up just about anything. I mean, and the modulations sound great. The delays sound great. The reverb sounds great. There's a lot of really good sounds in it. I don't like the drives, so that's why I use the analog drives. But it's just really cool because you can go through and, change up whatever order that you want. So if you have a phase 90 programmed up, I personally like to run it pre-drive, so I can set it for before the effect loop. Or let's say you have like a tremolo or something. Well, for me, I like to have the tremolo after the drives. But, there's really no right or wrong way to do it. You could experiment and try a tremolo pre-drive and see if you like it. You may like that sound, or maybe you want that delay to be pre-drive. You could experiment with it. And that's what's so cool is you can get so creative with the effects that are off of those HX1s. It's just amazing. And for the money, man, it's just an absolute steal for that. Absolute steal. And, man, the Line 6 effects, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just personally share it because I really feel it is just that good. And, I paid for that with my own money. So I didn't get that for free. I'm just sharing it because I think it's hands down the greatest guitar pedal that has come out in the past 20 years. It is absolutely phenomenal. And it's so easy to use. It's so well thought out. It's just incredible. So Go and buy one. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Let's see. Scott says here, union pay doesn't seem to be a great living unless they are the highest rate for master recordings. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of guys that are making a phenomenal living being a session player and being a professional musician. Um, these guys are some of the best musicians in the world. That do this stuff. So it's like, you know, these guys make an amazing living. I know them personally. I'm in that whole circle and in that group. I know all of those guys. So, it clearly works for them. So I don't know, man. It's one of those things. I mean, everybody is so obsessed with the money, and I understand like you have to make a living at this, which I've been fortunate enough to do for many years now at this point. But the reason why we all get into music is because we love doing it. That's why everybody does it, but there's guys that I know, man, that are, millionaires that do this, so it's one of those things, man. It's a pretty amazing job, and I think everybody's just so thankful and so grateful for the work that they have as a musician, and these guys are just on a totally different level, I mean, even Bukovac, he is one of the best guitar players in the world, and he's amazing, man. He's amazing. And people will never get to his level, they'll never get to his level because of how good he is, so it's a really special, one of a kind kind of thing, um but I was just over at his place the other day, man, and I mean, it's just amazing, to hear him play, man. And just his collection, I mean, all of his instruments are just so dialed in. And it clearly works for him. He's doing incredibly well. So that's awesome there. But let's see here. Tony says here, I was really surprised with the sounds. Yeah, man, they're amazing, man. I mean, the HX1, as I say, I stand behind it. I've sold so many people on that pedal at this point now. It's crazy, man. It's incredible, but I really stand behind it, man. It sounds great for the money. You can't beat it. It's very, very easy to use. And that's always the thing with the digital stuff. Like, so much of the stuff is so hard to use, man. And I just hate that shit. Like, I just want to play guitar and not mess around with the gear, man. Like, oh, it just drives me nuts, like, I know I make gear videos here on YouTube, but it's what a lot of people like to watch, and people love hearing my opinion on the gear because they really like my guitar tone and my sounds. So, I make content around the gear, but, the gear content that I make, folks, and I always say this because I feel it's really important, because there's a lot of BS here on YouTube. A lot of these guys are getting this gear that they make these videos on. They get this stuff for free, and I've had companies approach me in the past where they list out a bunch of talking points, and the deal with it is that the company just gives you a free guitar pedal or whatever it is that you're going to do a demo on in exchange for a video. So what a lot of these dudes do is that they get the gear for free. They make a video and they talk about how amazing it is and how great it is. And then I see them up the road here in Nashville selling it for cash money to a shop here in town. And, there's no receipt, there's no tracing it, there's no anything. So it's a pretty lucrative deal for a lot of the guys that do that kind of stuff, because, they get a free video off of it. They get the ad revenue off the video, and they get the cash money. They just throw it in their pocket. And, because it's like, who cares? They got it for free. They don't have anything in it. So it's all just pure profit at that point. But all of the gear videos that I make, it's all around stuff that I have actually bought and paid for with my hard-earned money. I've never taken stuff for free in exchange for a video and then given you guys like a fake word about how, like, oh man, I love this thing so much, and then taking it up the road and sold it, for cash money. I've never done that. And that's what a lot of the guys do, man. I've seen it firsthand multiple times. And I won't name any names, but there's a lot of them on there that I see and I just laugh. I'm like, man, I'm sure he'll probably take that up the road and sell it for cash money again, And I don't know, man. I just feel like it's not really genuine. It's one thing if the company wants to pay me money to create a video and I'll give you guys my honest words, about it. That's fine, but I'm not willing to just get a free guitar pedal in exchange for a video and then have to go and do that. I just think that's really a disservice to the fans out there. For me, this is a service. I have a lot of money invested in all the equipment that it takes to do these videos and record the audio and all this stuff. And it's also all of my experience as a player too. I feel that my playing here on YouTube is absolutely standout for my age, especially. I mean, a lot of these guys, they're all double my age that do the stuff that I do. I think it's a one of a kind. I'm a standout player here on YouTube. And, I really feel I put out a great product. So I feel that my service is absolutely worth the money that I charge to make these videos. But I'm just not interested in doing, an exchange where I just get a free guitar pedal and, make a video for it. And then I'm taking it up the road and selling it for cash. I mean, it's kind of silly to be totally honest. I'm just not willing to do that. And, for me, the educational side of my business earns me so much money that, I just don't need to be doing that. I don't feel any need to get a free guitar pedal and take it up the road and get $80 cash. I mean, to be honest, it's a, real waste of my time. And I just don't need to be doing that. I just think that's really a disservice to the people out there that follow me. And, a lot of people follow me because they know how authentic I am and how real I am. So just wanted to mention that. But Godson says here, we love your channel because you are honest with everything. A great guitar player with a lot of experience. Thanks so much, Godson. Really appreciate that, man. Thanks so much, man. I couldn't do it without you guys. I'm forever thankful to all the supporters out there. I have an incredible community of people that are just so loving and so appreciative of what I do. It's just absolutely incredible, so I'm forever thankful to all you guys. I could not do this without you guys, people that tip here with these live streams, that take my lessons. I mean, it's just an incredible community of people that really are just all in on this, man. I mean, they're such huge fans and such huge supporters. And, you guys are the reason why I'm able to continue doing this. So I'm forever thankful to all of the fans out there, everybody that supports me. I could not do it without you guys. So you guys are everything to me. But Scott says here, I have the Fender Super Champ XD combo with the enclosed speaker. Are some of these worth more than others? No, that gets confused a lot, man, with that amp. That is a totally different amp than the Super Champ. The Super Champ is from the 80s. This is a Paul Revere era Fender amp that's very collectible. It's very rare. The Super Champ XD is a completely different amp that has nothing to do with the original Super Champ. You want the original Super Champ from the 80s that Paul Revere designed. Those are the shit, man. They are amazing. And they've gone up a lot in value. And I actually have one available for sale if you'd like to purchase. jkm4231@gmail is my email on that, by the way. Let's see. Sean says here, do you use the HX1 with acoustic? Apologies if you mentioned it already. No, I don't use it with acoustic because I just don't need all of those different effects with acoustic. For me, I like to have a Strymon Flint because it has reverb and tremolo. And I love the way that the trem sounds on the acoustic. A lot of guys, myself included, use the Strymon Flint on electric guitar, which it sounds amazing with electric guitar. I mean, it's incredible, but it's really underrated and nobody uses it for acoustic guitar. And I love to have tremolo just to create a moment, and it just sounds killer, man, on acoustic. It sounds awesome. And the reverb is okay on those Strymon Flints, but it just works, man. Honestly, it's simple. I'm not a big reverb guy. I don't need a lot of that with acoustic, but it's killer, man. I love the way that sounds. And then I have one of these Grace Design preamps. It's called the Bix, which is just phenomenal. I mean, it really transforms and warms up the acoustic pickup so much, and I really swear by that thing, man. It sounds so good, so good. So that's all I use, man. I just have a Peterson tuner, the Strymon Flint, and then I have one of those Race Designs Bix, Bix, it's called, and it's basically like just adding like a mic preamp to the acoustic guitar signal. It just warms up the signal a little bit, and once you hear it, you're just like, wow, like it's so different than just a DI'd acoustic, man. I mean, it has a DI already built into it, and then it just has a really clean boost that you can use for leads, and it's just so well thought out, man. I mean, it just warms up the acoustic so much. It's just amazing, man. That thing is amazing. It completely transforms your acoustic sound. So I really recommend you get one of those for acoustic. But let's see. Roger says here, have you tried any King of Tone clones? Any opinions? No, man. I don't. I have a real one that I just use. It works fine. It sounds good. I just like it because it's a totally different EQ and a totally different amount of drives. It's very mid-rangey, and it's just totally different from the Nobles that I use. And that just works really well. I mean, that pedal board works well for a lot of the Nashville style music that I get hired on for, but it depends. Sometimes I'll be playing with a more, kind of rock and roll group. And, sometimes I'll just bring this little pedal board. It has 4 pedals on it. It just has this Bogner, the Grange pedal. That's my main gain pedal on there. And it just sounds killer, man. I just love it. It's very simple. It's very easy to get a great guitar sound with, but sometimes I need something a little bit different. So I have 2 pedal boards for that reason, where I kind of need to get more of those Nashville kind of guitar tones happening on certain gigs. So that's why I use that. But yeah, I just don't really, I don't really mess with a lot of pedals, to be totally honest. I mean, there's so many pedals out there. It's just ridiculous. It's so hard to keep up with. And I just commit to the stuff that I use. So I haven't really used a lot of the clones or any of that shit. So it's just insane the amount of guitar pedals that are out there, man. It's so hard to keep up with. But let's see. Roger says here, Art makes a 2 preamp with a 12AX7. Makes a great acoustic DI. I use it into my amp sim pedals, and it's a game changer. That's cool, man. That's awesome. I wonder if is that powered off of a 9-volt supply, or is it more like a higher voltage kind of a tube amp or 2 preamp? I mean, I'd be curious because that's something you got to look out for. There's some pedals that are out there that they have like a preamp tube, and it's, like there's a 12AX7 in there or something, but it's powered off of a 9-volt supply. So in my opinion, I think a lot of that stuff honestly is BS, to be honest. If it's powered off of a 9-volt supply and it has a 2 preamp in there, like a 12AX7, I personally don't feel that the tube gets enough voltage for it to even make any difference. So I don't know, man. I think a lot of that stuff can be kind of questionable, to be completely honest. It's just my opinion, but it has to be able to get the right voltage for that 2 preamp to really make a difference, in my opinion. I don't really see, like, at 9 volts how it could make any difference if you have a 12AX7 in there, just to be honest. But yeah, I love that Grace, man. It's killer, man. It's so clean and just beautiful sounding, man. It just warms up the acoustics so much. And, I have this acoustic duo gig that I do every Tuesday at 11 in the morning here in Nashville. And man, I use that thing every week. I use it on every acoustic gig I'm on. It just kicks ass. It sounds killer. It's consistent. And it already has a boost built into it that you can just dial up for leads. So it just works great, because I play a lot of lead guitar on these acoustic gigs, and I need to get a level boost for the solos, because when you're playing big chunky chords, the output is going to read much hotter than when you go in to play single notes. You're really going to lose a lot of output. So you need to add that boost with acoustic, man. It's just crucial. I mean, just like with electric, but with electric, you really want to add mid-range, it's all EQing, and just getting additional level just to be able to really jump out of a mix. So, same kind of thing, but with acoustic, I just need level. So just to compensate for the loss in level whenever I'm going in to play leads. But let's see. Scott says here, have you ever been asked to mimic a steel guitar with your rig? I mean, yeah, as a guitar player, like, yeah, if there's no steel player on the gig, sometimes I'll have to play some licks that are, steel guitar licks, So yeah, that's definitely a thing for sure. But not really with like pedals or something like that. It's more from the phrasing and more from, playing. So certain licks and stuff, that are actually steel guitar parts, but they're, you can play them on a telly. It depends though. There's some lines that a steel guitar does that, you're not going to be able to mimic on electric. It's going to be really difficult, but I honestly would love to get a B bender too. That would be really cool. I don't have one of those. It'd be cool to get a B bender and try to, mimic some of those, major third bends, like if you take your second interval and use the B bender and go up a whole step and bend up into that major third, that can be a really cool tone with the B bender, and a lot of the time the B benders, they're on the strap button, so you just take the neck and you just take the guitar and just bend it down like this. And it'll actually bend the string up a whole step from wherever you're at. So you can really create these really cool, like steel guitar, like kind of, chords and stuff, and really cool voicings and stuff. You can really get creative with that B bender. It's cool for sure. But I don't have one of those either. So as I was saying, it just never ends as a guitar player, man. You're constantly, there's always something else out there that you need to buy or you need and you don't have. It never ends, man. It just never ends and just gets so dang expensive. This is crazy. Like I'm looking at this telly right now. It's about 50 grand. But it's the best telly I've ever played. It's killer. But anyways, man, I've been going here for about an hour and a half here, folks. If you guys, once again, you guys want to support the channel, if you feel like you got something out of today's live stream and you guys want to support me, feel free to throw a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar or even a super chat here in today's live stream. Any and all support is really appreciated. I've had multiple Venmo tips here today. So thank you guys so much. Those out there that tipped, I really do appreciate it. It really makes a huge difference. I don't make anything on these live streams. I just donate my time to connect with everybody and just show my appreciation to everybody out there that watches my videos. You guys mean everything to me. And I'm so thankful to all the support out there. And, be sure to check out all of the other stuff that I have down below in the description box. I offer one-on-one online lessons. So hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. If you're interested in this, I'd be happy to get you all some more information on this. But I think I'm going to sign off here today, folks. I've been going here for about an hour and a half, and I'm pretty tired, as I was saying. I'm pretty jet lagged. I played in Detroit this weekend, and we got back. We left the show last night and then got back here to Nashville. First thing this morning, it was like 6 or 6:30 this morning, something like this. If I remember right, I was kind of in another galaxy at this point because I was just so tired. But, it was a really fun weekend. It was really cool. I connected with a lot of cool people and a lot of people recognized me from the show here on YouTube. So really appreciate that. And it was a fun weekend of great gigs. So it was a lot of fun. And I've just got a lot of stuff going on here. So stay tuned, folks. I've got some more videos coming up. I'm going to be playing and I'm going to be teaching a lot this week. So stay tuned here on my YouTube page, folks. I'll, be posting some more videos and I'll be going live again next Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So come on back and join me. Get your questions ready. I'd be happy to answer them. And once again, I really appreciate everybody's support. We'll see you all soon. Y'all take care.